Well, tonight we're going to be talking about some film and television news that's been going on in the world of Universal and David Koepp and stuff like that. We've got some Universal Park stuff to touch on. There's probably some Frontier development stuff, all that and more. I am Brad Jost. We're back, and this is Let's Talk Jurassic. Do my buttons work? No, of course not. Why wouldn't they? Welcome back, everybody. Time for another... Oh, wait, my hat is so crooked. Oh, my God. I can't do it when I'm, looking in the camera. You gotta go off a feel. It's weird. Anyway, welcome back to another Let's Talk Jurassic, everybody. It's time. We are back in the studio. It's been maybe a week or two. I don't know when the last time we did it was. There's been too much happening. There's been a lot of sports that I've been watching. So I haven't been able to get out of here. There's been a lot of recording going on and different things. So, yeah. Plus, there hasn't really been anything to talk about. Let's be honest. Has there been anything? No, of course not. There's nothing to talk about ever. But we've got a few things. We've got a few things here tonight that I'm excited to dive into. So, let's first start things off by just showcasing, hey, what have we been doing over on the podcast feed? So, going over to the Jurassic Park Podcast.com, wanted to give a shout out to Steve Brissati, the paleontology advisor on Jurassic World Rebirth and Jurassic World Dominion. He talked with our very own Connor O'Keefe over on the Jurassic Park Podcast all about his new book, The Story of Birds. And let me tell you, this episode was excellent. I barely had anything to do with it. So all I did was just do the intro and the outro, and I listened to it, and I edited it. I produced it, let's be honest. But it is a fantastic episode. Please, excuse me, go listen to that one. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to Steve and Connor talk all about birds and how they relate to dinosaurs and what all of that means. It's a really interesting topic, and you'll get to read Steve Brissati's book if you want to. I think that's out here in the U.S. It might be coming out soon. I think it's like June 10th or 11th or something like that in the U.K., but stay tuned. Hold on, I got to take a drink. My throat decided it didn't want to work anymore. But a great episode. Please go check that one out. And let me know what you think, and let Connor know what you think, because it was a great episode. So definitely go listen to number 437 on the feed. But welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So that's the podcast. It's been out on the feed for the last week, and this week it's, as Andy here says, the best bi-weekly Jurassic podcast, really narrowing in that scope. We're going to be the best bi-weekly podcast that you can come up with. And there may not be a bi-weekly episode. You never know what you're going to get here anymore. To our very own detriment. But I'll try to get an episode out for you this week and see what we can find. It's been tough, I'll be honest. I mean, there's not a lot happening, which makes the drive low for people to listen to these episodes. And it makes the drive low for me to make these kinds of episodes. But when I get a little bit of topics like I do tonight, I'm like, okay, we've got some stuff to do. Plus, hey, maybe I could just release this, even though it would be not all that entertaining. But here you are anyway. Let's start things off over in the news section. So actually, you know what? We're going to go over to gaming. We're going to take a look at some Jurassic gaming. because there are some details here. Well, privacy is important to us, but yeah, let's whatever. Frontier Developments, excuse me, shares jump as Jurassic World game boosts revenue. Now, this comes from Yahoo Finance. Okay. And Proactive. I'm not really sure what that is. But Frontier Developments shares shot up, gaining around 19% on Tuesday after indie game developer upgraded full-year revenue and profit guidance driven by the success of Jurassic World Evolution 3 and stronger sales across its wider game portfolios. So I love this. Focus on Jurassic World Evolution 3 as a success. That is great to hear. I'm excited to hear that. The game, from a playing perspective, was an absolute success. I think that game was fantastic, and it was exactly the kind of game that I've wanted. I will say it has been a little quiet on that front, so that's why I wanted to focus on this game today, because it's nice to know. Like, after so much time when we feel like, oh, there really hasn't been any kind of news or information about, upcoming stuff for that game, it's kind of nice to know that, hey, they're making their revenue shoot up, and that's pretty important. So it says Frontier said cumulative sales revenue for Jurassic World Evolution 3 is ahead of Jurassic World Evolution 2 over an equivalent post-launch period, including through new content releases. The company added that delays beyond its control had affected further content releases for the game in the past month, though it is working to return to the planned content roadmap. I'll be honest, I haven't really paid attention, but I'm sure people in the gaming sphere that really, really do focus in on what Frontier is doing probably know what some of those road bumps, or that's not what it said, but all those delays are on that roadmap. I haven't paid attention enough to see what those are, but I'm going to take a look into it because now I'm interested. This article here from Yahoo Finance got me interested there. But it says some other stuff about credits and tax relief, and yeah, I think that's about it. But hey, it's good to know. This article is like, hey, they're going to be getting back on the roadmap, so we're going to see some new content hopefully pretty soon. So they've been off that roadmap for a little bit. I got to focus in. Maybe if anybody in the chat knows why, I'd love to know. But I'll take a look into that shortly. But great news. Great news for Frontier, for Jurassic. I don't know. Does this mean we're going to get a Jurassic World Evolution 4 eventually? I don't know. But good news for them. Proud of you, Frontier. You did a good job. Bravo. But let's move on to our next topic for tonight. We're gonna breeze through these ones, guys. There's a little bit of stuff here and there, but we're trying to keep it so adjacent to Jurassic. But we've got one here. Now we're gonna go to, I don't know. I should have a topic headline that's just like semi-adjacent, kind of related Jurassic news. And that would be that Westworld movie reboot in the works at Warner Brothers from Jurassic Park screenwriter David Koepp. So I feel like this is fairly adjacent. Michael Crichton, was the person behind the first movie. Yeah, it says here, let's see. Yeah, David Koepp is returning to the world of twisted amusement parks. I really liked the TV show Westworld. I'll be honest, I have not watched the movie. Blasphemy, maybe, but Michael Crichton wrote and directed the original movie. I know, I really got to see this. My fault, my bad. But it's so Jurassic coded, I feel like, in so much of it, that this is going to be interesting to see what they do from a film perspective with David Koepp on board. How closely are those things going to relate? Are we going to see references? Because I feel like there were references in the television show, if I remember correctly. I feel like there were some slight references, things that I was like, oh man, this feels like it could be Jurassic World adjacent. Again, with that word. So it's interesting to see that they're going to be doing another one. And honestly, interesting that they're doing it at all, with the fact that, I guess with Warner Brothers shelving the original one completely and just not finishing it. I don't know. I think that was probably more of from a tax perspective, where they just really didn't want to, be doing this anymore. And they figured, hey, if we shelve this, it's gonna be worth more to us shelved than produced, which is a bummer, huge bummer. Because I wanted to see where that show went, but we'll never get there, I guess. But maybe we'll kind of tread down that path in a movie. I don't know. And how interesting would a movie be at this point? I feel like the television show did it so well, was so intricate, so interesting, and so many like really memorable characters and actors and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, who they will get to direct this. David Koepp writing it, and I feel like it said something along the lines of like a director. Does not have a director. Okay. But yeah, I wonder how distant it'll be from like what the television series did. Let's see what the synopsis here says. The original, which follows guests as they visit an interactive amusement park containing lifelike androids that unexpectedly begin to malfunction. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the television show was kind of that. It was more like they don't malfunction more so as they become sentient, and there's such like whatever you call it, like what's the mystery box at the center of the maze here in that show. So I wonder how far they'll stray from that and kind of do like a completely separate story. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But interesting enough, and I'm gonna keep this open here just to see like what happens with this one, how close are we gonna get to Jurassic. But I figured it was worth a mention. But yeah, it has been quiet. It's sad. I agree. Let's see. If they would hurry up with survival, we'd have something to talk about. Yeah. I don't know. If they'd hurry up with survival, we'd have something to talk about. So, I mean, look, on our list of things to talk about, survival is one of those things. Actually, you know what? Let me bring this up because this was in relation to a Scarlett Johansson article. Yeah, so let's hop over to the news a little bit here for this because I find it interesting. So, what else was I going to talk about tonight? All right, yeah. So it's not really much to write home about, but look, we don't have a lot to talk about, but one thing we do have to talk about in the future, hopefully, is a sequel. So this was an article from Deadline about Scarlett Johansson to star in Ari Aster's Eddington follow-up Scapegoat at A24. And they just so happened to mention in this article that Johansson is coming off an equally busy 2025 that included helping relaunch the Jurassic World franchise. That doesn't make sense. With Jurassic World Rebirth, that film, which hit theaters in July, went on to gross $868 million worldwide and has a sequel in the works. So it's nice to see it in an official trade. It really hasn't been there, I don't think, up until this point. You know, it's been something that's been coming for a while. We've kind of known about this for a little bit, but there really hasn't been any solid information, and this is barely solid information. Barely. And look, Mozamil here, I love your thought process here. Delusionally waiting for something big this Jurassic June. And look, time is a weird mystery box of Amaze, just like whatever that movie was called, Westworld. And it's hard to believe that June is half a month away. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Mandalorian and Grogu is coming out next week, dude? What? What's happening here? How are we almost to Jurassic June at this point? And it's deadly silent. So it'll be a very interesting Jurassic June to look forward to, I think. There's going to be a lot of expectation. Like, we're going to be very much looking forward to some sort of news announcement. I mean, if this Deadline article is any indication, like, there is a sequel in the works. So we are going to be keeping our eyes towards Deadline and other outlets like that for some solid information. But we're going to be looking to Jurassic June for sequel information. Hey, title information for a new film. Cast information. We are going to go overboard. Director. We want a director. We're going to be so overboard as fans that we want to know absolutely everything that's happening. We want the Jurassic Park survival information. We want the Jurassic World Evolution 3 DLC information. We want, what is that? So we've got Rebirth, Jurassic World Evolution 3, survival. What else is there? We want the new DreamWorks television show announced. We want the biggest stuff possible. Great things from Mattel. You know, we want to see what they've got for Jurassic June lined up. But yeah, there's a lot of excitement to be had, I think, for Jurassic June. But for the most part, Jurassic June is very quiet. It really doesn't do a whole lot. So in a year where there's no movie coming up, I don't really expect a lot. But it is so weirdly silent, and it has been for so long that I'm expectant that there's going to be like something happening. I don't know. Will there? We'll see. But Jurassic June, right around the corner. I hope something comes out from that. But we just got to wait and find out. But let's talk about our next piece of news, actually. Speaking of Universal and announcements, we're going to go over to Variety.com. Again, I need the adjacent Jurassic news. Jurassic adjacent news. Let me see. Hey, watch this. Ready? Let's do it. Which one is it? Jurassic. It's got to be this one, probably. Let's go here for a second, right? Let me go back to my other news story so we don't spoil it just yet. But, all right, yeah, that's the right one. So let's duplicate that. And I'm going to edit this right here on the fly. Jurassic adjacent. All right, edit this. Bear with me. Oops, got to make them all caps. And reframe it. It's not perfect, but hey, let's go with it. Boom. Jurassic adjacent news live now. All right, boom. Ice cream. ShopRite. How do I get out of this ad? Seriously. What the heck? I literally can't get out of this ad. All right, refresh. Fast and Furious TV series in development at Peacock. Jurassic adjacent news. We've got some development here on the Universal front. And again, with the ShopRite ad that I absolutely cannot get rid of. Here we go. There's finally an X there. Will it go away? Updated. I don't know what they updated, but it says here, the announcement was made on stage by franchise star Vin Diesel at NBC Universal's upfront presentation in New York on Monday alongside Tonight Show host Jimmy Fallon, star of Jurassic World. They had a Jurassic World star on stage, and they refused to announce anything. But look, I know this is adjacent news, Fast and Furious, Peacock, Universal, NBC Universal. We got to talk about it because it's so wild that we're getting... Well, first off, that we've gotten 2 seasons of Monarch Legacy of Monsters before a Jurassic live-action television show. 2 seasons over on Apple TV. Great show. Love it. Love it. It's not Jurassic. And we're going to get a Fast and Furious, I'm assuming live-action television show before a live-action television show about the Jurassic franchise. It's painful at this point. Look, I love Fast and Furious. I love those movies. They're some of my favorites. They're dumb, they're silly, they're fun. The first one I think is legitimately awesome. I love that movie. The other ones are silly and fun. But I can't believe we're here. I can't believe we've made it to live action Fast and Furious before live action Jurassic television. I feel so baited by Colin Trevorrow and what he did with Battle at Big Rock, which was the perfect kind of launching point, this perfect setup for a television series. It really was. It really was. Think of those characters and think of what they did with, hey, we're going to mention it, the motion comic. Okay, the motion comic followed a park ranger person, a news anchor person. There were a couple, I believe, in that, whatever that was, the motion comic. But think of that. I wish that was the premise for what Battle at Big Rock was, where you have a park ranger and a news anchor, and then they go ahead and try to pretty much do what they do in Camp Cretaceous, where they follow, but more so like Supernatural. Imagine the show Supernatural. I'm sure a lot of you probably know, maybe you don't know. 2 brothers go from town to town and find haunted activity, ghosts, demons, angels, death, devil, God, all this stuff, whatever the interactions are, and they research them and they face them head on and take them out. Imagine that for a Jurassic television live action show where you can have 8 episodes. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but you have 2 people like a park ranger and a news anchor. The news anchor is the one who's like, okay, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to research them. Now we're going to get into the research phase of everything. But we also have a park ranger who's good at reading and studying the ground and knowing where things are going to be heading. And it's like a good angle for 2 people to kind of attack. Plus, they have a family that they're keeping with them. So it's... Oh, apparently the stream stopped for some reason. But, hey, we're back, I think. So let me start this part over. But it says here... From this star, or no, what was I saying? From the upfronts, Vin Diesel had said, for the last decade, we have realized that the fans have wanted more. They wanted us to expand the legacy characters, their stories, and for the last decade, the desire has been for us to enter the TV space that Fallon has mastered. And I had to wait until it was right. It became right when Donna Langley started to oversee it all, because that's when I knew that's when I knew that the integrity of the characters, the international appeal, and what makes us all feel like family would be protected in the TV space. The news that I have here today is that Peacock is launching 4 shows from the Fast and Furious universe. Now, that was pretty quickly corrected to be only 1 show. But pretty wild that he would just go out there and be like, guys, we got 4 shows. But honestly, that's just the way Vin Diesel rolls. Apparently, he like announces these things. I feel like he just announces things and doesn't even care if they're going to get made or not. But he puts Universal in the position of being like, oh, we're going to make this. I told all of our fans who've been waiting for the last decade that we were going to make it this thing. And you need to make it now. So I feel like he puts them in that position to be like, oh, we're making it. We don't really have that for Jurassic, right? Colin was there to be that kind of person, but he never really had the stance that I think of Vin Diesel has with the Fast and Furious franchise, where like he hinges on everything for that franchise. It's all about what he wants to do with this franchise. Yes, there are writers and whatnot, but it's all about him for the most part. It's very centric on Vin Diesel. Jurassic doesn't really have that person. It never really has. We've had many people to tell these stories, and even during the World era where there were more of those kinds of people, they still weren't Vin Diesel for the Fast and Furious franchise. So Colin was that close enough person to be there to say, hey, we're going to be making this television show. Oh, we're going to be doing this new movie, this new spinoff. But he really wasn't that kind of person, though, at the same time. He would have been the only person to do so, but he really wasn't that person. So, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. We need somebody to stand up there and to be like, you know what? Hey, it's time. It's time for a movie or a TV series. It's time for somebody to actually step up and... Oh. Hold on. I got a phone call here. Hi. Oh. Yeah, Universal, is that you? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a while. I know. I'm sorry. I was off air for a few weeks, I think, 2 weeks maybe. But, you know, this news that I'm seeing here, I don't know if you were listening to the live stream, but I was talking about the NBC Universal Upfront, which, oh, you were there? Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were there with Vin. Okay, all right. And you were there with a star of Jurassic World, Jimmy Fallon. He was there. I know Fallon is not really like Vin Diesel, but we need somebody like that. Is there anybody that could be there for Jurassic to really stand up for the cause? Is there somebody that could because we need a Vin Diesel, okay? We need somebody like that. I mean, at this point, 7 movies in, it's probably a little too late for our own Vin Diesel. It's not going to be Jeff Goldblum or Sam Neill or Laura Dern. It's not going to be Chris Pratt. It's not going to, honestly, Bryce was probably one of the closest things we had to it. Bryce could have been close to that, but no, I mean, it's probably too late for anybody at this point. Scarlett, I don't know. She could maybe she could be there. She's got the Marvel ties and stuff, as does Vin, but we also need somebody behind the scenes, Universal. Okay. Am I talking too much? Oh, go ahead. All right. So we need somebody behind the scenes as well. Somebody who can really, be the Pablo Hidalgo, maybe say that, maybe the Dave Filoni, somebody like that, maybe the Jon Favreau. We need somebody like that again. We've lost that. We lost that. You guys, I know you didn't have faith that Colin was going to pull through. You didn't? Yeah, I didn't think. I did. I'll be honest. I had faith in Colin. I know you. Okay. Well, yeah, you don't have to tell. No, don't say that. I'm not going to tell them. They want me to say something, but I'm not going to say it. No, but look, I loved what he did. But we had him and you let him go. We need somebody like that. Somebody behind the scenes to really run the show and to really... Frank Marshall? Yeah. I know, he's there. Is he that? Is he doing it, though? What is he... Because I feel like he doesn't really want to expand. I feel like he just wants to kind of contract things. Okay. Well, anyway, I really want you guys to find that person behind the scenes to run the ship. And is that a saying? No. Okay. To steer the ship. There we go. Thank you. Steer the ship and just kind of ride our way here and be that behind the scenes force to really make sure the canon is adhered to to make sure we're going down the right paths, that we're following everything, that we don't have mosasaurs that look different, that we don't have canonical ties and different years that are all weird and gobbledygook. And we need our own Vin Diesel. All right? Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Maybe I'll hear from you later. Who knows? Thank you. All right. Yeah. All right. Bye. Usually they just tell me to shut up, but they actually were listening. I think they were listening that time. They were listening. Bye, Big Cheese. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I would love that. I know that phone call was on there for too long. I apologize. Universal was really, they had an open ear today. And they usually don't. They usually don't for me. So they usually, I think what I joke about is they send me this phone. Universal sent this to me just to specifically tell me to shut up. But that time they were actually listening. So I'm appreciative. That was pretty cool. So Vin Diesel, on the other hand, he runs his own ship over there. Runs? Again, I'm with the runs. He steers his own ship, with one arm like this. And he's talking about family. And I don't know why I sound like Rocky. Hey, yo. Yeah, we got family. Yeah. We got family in this house. Yeah, he's about to punch somebody in the ring. But maybe Donna Langley could be the person at Universal to kind of get things moving in that regard. But I don't know. Weird that he would just be up there saying we got 4 shows in the works, and then people are like, actually, it's only one. It's only one. I don't know what he's talking about. But who knows? Who knows? Jurassic, your time's coming. I swear, one day we'll have a live-action television show. But until then, we got one more news piece to talk about here tonight. I did want to look at this, actually, and see if there was any kind of indication as what's happening here. No. Maybe tomorrow we get to see what's going on with the next Beyond the Gates. Probably. They scheduled them now on Thursdays, which is annoying because they used to be on Wednesdays. We'd always be able to talk about them as soon as they happened. But now we got to wait like a week. It's annoying. But let's talk about our final piece here in the news. And this is going to be some theme park stuff. So we're going to go over to Universal Parks and head over to Inside Universal because they have the latest scoop. There's not too much to talk about, but Thunder Falls Terrace is closing. Universal Orlando closing Thunder Falls Terrace in Jurassic Park for new signature restaurant. This was from Brian over on May 7th. It says it's going to permanently close. I did get a email about this. Let me see. There's probably no other information in this email, but it was a PR email. I don't know where it was. Universal. No, that's not that one. I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is straight from their PR email, the press release, and it says, first off, Lost Continent at Universal Islands of Adventure is going to be like closing some stuff. They're going to be permanently closing in phases to make way for a new themed area. So that is kind of also adjacent to Jurassic in a way. There is the Harry Potter kind of like in between, sandwiched in between in a different part of that park, but they're going to be changing that side. So they're also going to be changing the opposite side with Thunder Falls Terrace. It says Thunder Falls Terrace restaurant will close this summer and transform into an all-new dining concept that will become the new signature full-service restaurant in Universal Islands of Adventure. The rethemed dining location will debut in 2027. So that was there. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there was anything here. I just pulled up this for the sake of the headline, basically. But Thunder Falls Terrace, it's a great little place. Like, I've really enjoyed it. It's Some expensive park burgers. Yeah, Universal. It's not cheap, but you know what? What did I get from here? I got some sort of I don't remember. But it was delicious, whatever it was. Great atmosphere. I love being in there, hearing the music, seeing the lights that are the chandelier kind of lights and stuff. Muslim, you got to go there. You got to go there before it's too late. Hopefully it's not closing too soon. But yeah, it's a great spot. Definitely hit it up if you haven't. Thunder Falls Terrace. So yeah, it's going to be closing permanently for a new signature restaurant. So the idea here is that Lost Continent, which has the Mythos restaurant, which is jokingly, I don't know if it's jokingly or not, they've got the banner that it's the best theme park, restaurant in the world or something for however many years straight. It's had this banner up for Theme Park Insider or something like that forever. And I'm I don't know who cares at this point that this banner's there, but it's the signature restaurant in that park. It is the go-to place. It's the best place there. And with that closing, with that entire land closing for potentially some, I don't know, there's two things on the table. There's two things. Maybe some Zelda, maybe some Pokemon. I don't know, some things like that. We'll see. I'm not really sure. But with that closing for the time being, we need a new signature restaurant. So Thunder Falls Terrace is got, it's a nice spot. It's not huge. So I don't know what they're going to need to do to kind of expand upon that. Let me bring something up here just so we can see. Bear with me for a second. Islands of Adventure map. Oh, I don't want that. I want a Google map. Not a park map. Get out of here. All right, now how do we get this is a weird looking Google Maps, but how do we get out of this? How do I get the Earth version? Oh, that's annoying. Hold on a second. This is not working right. Google Maps. Let's just go here. I wanted to look up what the size of the buildings are and stuff, because I feel that could be interesting. This is not working for some reason. Google Maps for me. All right, here, almost there. Islands of Adventure. And again, what? It's not working. Why can't I get the satellite? Okay, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, let's go back over to the parks. It's still not fully loaded yet. But, all right, so here is, oops. Oh, my God, get out of here. Oh, my, for real? Seriously? Well, that's annoying. It was working for a second. All right, here we go. All right, back over to Jurassic. So let's see. It's over here. We've got the Jurassic Park River Adventure right there. So there's not really a lot of room. So it's not, I don't know that they'll be able to expand upon this spot here. So the only thing they could do is maybe expand out the back here and kind of get rid of the parking, which is something they definitely do from time to time. I don't know if they'd be able to do that there, though. It doesn't really look like it. But let's see. Let's see if there's any interior pictures. Yeah, I mean, that's not huge. Not really working very well today. I don't know why. There's 700. Oh, I got to look in the app. Ah, forget it. Well, anyway, it's a pretty small footprint, as you can see. And let's go look at Mythos real quick. So Mythos is over here. Also a fairly small footprint. So maybe it's not too far off. Let's zoom out to be the same size. It definitely looks a bit bigger, to be honest, but yeah, I don't know how it'll become the spot that they want it to become, but you know, it's gonna take some doing. But hey, let's take a look real quick at some other locations, because Hammond's is a restaurant that exists out in Universal Beijing. And I brought this one up because, hey, it looks fairly similar, like the outside, to Thunder Falls Terrace. It's got that Jurassic vibes nailed down there, and this even looks better. Like, it looks great. Signature dishes: baked snapper, Hammond's burger, Isla Nublar garlic roast pork, orange flavored red velvet cake, baked snapper. Yeah. So, yeah, great food here. I don't have the full menu, but you better believe there's some Chilean sea bass on that menu. All right. Yeah. But I'd be down for a Hammond's, which I imagine if they're going to be closing that, it's going to become Hammond's. I think there's no way around it at this point. So they'll probably tune it up a little bit and turn it into a Hammond's. Maybe put like, you know, look at this nice statue. There's a nice Hammond statue with the grandkids. Throw some amber out there, change the doors up a little bit or something, and probably turn it into a Hammond's. Just take down that Thunder Falls Terrace. It's going to be sad because I think Thunder Falls Terrace is great because that feels really in-world to me. Thunder Falls Terrace just works so well. It's a new location. It's, you know, a Hammond's is as well, sure. But I feel like Thunder Falls Terrace is a great name. I've always loved it. It's got unique music. And, yeah, it's super retro, I guess. But, like, it's a great spot. And I'll be sad to see that version of it go. But whatever it turns into, I think Hammond's would be great. But we'll see. I Googled some other photos there. That's just the one. But, yeah, I don't know. Is there any other photos of Hammond's in Beijing? Not really. I remember following it quite a bit when it was debuting and stuff. Like, that looks very close. Like, we could definitely do that. But the only thing is, I just don't know if it has the size and the capacity to really, you know, hold that many people. Thunder Falls Terrace capacity. Let me see if anybody has this listed here. I don't see it quickly enough. Somebody go in and check the door. Like right behind the door, it'll usually say, what's the capacity for Thunder Falls Terrace? Because I want to know what that capacity is versus Mythos. I didn't realize that it says here on Google, I don't know if this is true or not, but it offers outdoor seating. I don't feel like I've ever seen that, but maybe. Yeah, let's take a look here. Thunder Let's see if this site has any WDW news today. Sometimes they have some information, but the internet is completely garbage here today. Who knows if this stream is even going out over the internet. But yeah, let's go back over to the news and see what they're saying. Mythos permanently closing. Yeah, that's a bummer. At least you've got some time to get over to Mythos, closing next year. But yeah, it's going to be a full-service restaurant. And that's the difference. Thunder Falls is not a full-service restaurant. It is a kind of walk up to almost buffet-like, right? And you kind of like tell somebody what you want and they give it to you and you move your tray down. I feel like it was like a tray thing. Like you're going to like IKEA, their little restaurant, kind of like that. And then you just go find a table. Let's see the permit for construction. They've got a link here. Let's see what that brings up. Oh, nope, didn't bring up anything. It says for interior renovations. Okay. Contractor has not yet been determined. The expiration date is October 26, 2026. All right. Well, where was my other article? Here it was. Yeah, and here, look at here's a picture of Hammond's. Yeah, I mean, I think it's doable. It's probably doable. It looks very similar. So I think that's probably what they're going to be going for. I just don't know if the capacity is going to be what Orlando needs. The restaurants are already a mess in Orlando, so you know, sometimes there's lines like out the doors to a lot of these places. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm excited for that. But also it's a little bittersweet. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that. And yes, a Universal trip does seem in order. Cast members poked subtle nods at Dinosaur at Jurassic Outfitters. Yeah. I know. I got to see all that new stuff that they've added to the land there, the stores. But yeah, that is it for tonight. That is all we've got for you. So thank you everybody for watching this one. Be sure to go over to JurassicParkPodcast.com and check out episode 430.